emotional freedom techniques on fear for randomness. So if you're afraid of randomness and you have a little like control issues in a way, then this video is helping you to release control issues, but mostly focused on fear of randomness. So life is very random. So if you have fear and anxiety for randomness, maybe you have fear of life in general because you never know what's next, right? It's I think a lot of people, a lot of us are afraid of, they say afraid of change, but also very afraid of randomness because once you step out of the door, you don't know what's happening, what's going to happen. And so maybe that makes that you're staying inside of your house or you're doing things that you already know how to do, but you're maybe not stepping outside of the box of, that planning or um, sticking to the same group of people, or even when it's really not good for you. It's more about the things that are not good for you, just letting go of it and really got back to your original nature. And with this EFT tapping video, I like to help people in a little bit like a, I think it also has a little bit like a magical feel to it, I think, the topic, because randomness makes also that you're discovering things that you could not even imagine, right? Because there's of course something like they talk about already for decades, like the secret, and it is something like in short that if you focus on the things that you're focusing on, it's what you attract into your life. And if you really know, there's probably people that make what is it like those boards with what they want to achieve and things like that. But what if you just let it totally go? And there's often, I think, a fear of letting it go because you don't know what will happen. And now I think I have to think about Oprah Winfrey, because I think she said once something along the line of that she, um, people ask her how she became famous. I think it's just random, okay, right now, but I remember an interview that she told people that how she became famous is that she really didn't know anymore what to do. She was just like, everything that happens to her, like just let it happen. And that's how she came to, I think, maybe the idea to get that job, or that it was, that was what she was attracting. So I think she's a good example, maybe, but you have to ask her and watch her videos uh, about letting go of those vision boards and planning and agendas and journals and things like that, because I think, of course, I used on this channel journals as well, but for a different reason. It's more about learning like how you behave, like trying to see how you behave and then analyzing it. It's a different purpose, different reason, but letting completely go. Thank you so much. You're very friendly, and I really love you being here as well, and I love you too. A lot of love, and um, I love to help you guys, because I think this is a difficult time for a lot of people. After feeling that it might really help to do a tapping video, I didn't know on what topic, but I was inspired, and so I thought randomness, exactly. That is what it's about, I think. I think once you are releasing and letting go of things, I think you are, when you're not afraid anymore of randomness, which is life, because a lot of things you don't know yet what's going to happen next. Even when you think right now that you know for sure what's going to happen next, maybe this video will help you, um, to let it go in a completely different direction. So maybe you're afraid that things will happen in a certain way, but we don't know, it's life. So if we're very open to it, like everything is possible. If I think that once you are knowing that, or not, it's not about knowing, it's about the subconscious more. So EFT tapping, for people who don't know yet, I will in short explain a little bit more about EFT tapping, and I told just a little bit more about the topic. So randomness, in short, it's a little bit like letting go of those control issues, but more so focus on the fear for randomness. And so EFT tapping in short is emotional freedom techniques. We're first going to rate the fear. So how much do you feel the fear of randomness? Let's say you feel a lot of fear. You're very paranoid, like what's going to happen next. And for some people, you already know what's going to happen next, and that's not what you want to happen. For example, where am I? In Malta. Yeah, I already made a video about it, so I can tell it right now. But I will also leave here Europe, but I also leave here, and so yeah, this is temporarily. So yeah, the fear of randomness. So EFT tapping is emotional freedom tactics. First, we're going to rate it. So, for example, if you're thinking about, what's going to happen next, how fearful are you about that? If I tell the story like, yeah, life is random. You don't never know what's happening when you're tomorrow getting out of your door. You don't know what is happening. How much is that fear that comes up right now? How much of the fear, how would you rate it? So from 1 to 10, 10 is a lot of fear around the topic, and 0 is no fear at all about the topic. It's normal that you have a little bit of fear about it when you never did EFT tapping. So just rate it from 1 to 10. I don't know who you are, but you send really kind messages. But yeah, I'm not a psychic. There's only so alright, I get a little bit like, I'm very intuitive, but I think that, okay, whatever. Back to the topic, EFT tapping is that we're going to tap on points on the face, and we say at the same time we say sentences, and that releases the fear that holds you back, from experience life fully. So if you're fearing randomness, you fear life in a way, because life is random. So let's start tapping this, and first you can rate it from 1 to 10. How much do you feel the fear? So if you are, you're in a situation right now, you don't know what's going to happen next, rate it from 1 to 10. So 10 is a lot of fear, 0 is not having any fear at all. And then we're going to start tapping. The EFT tapping method is invented by Gary Craig. You can find him also on YouTube. And I love to watch videos by Brad Yates, who is having also his own scripts. And you can also watch his channel. So once you need a script for EFT tapping, you can look up at my channel or his channel. He's doing only EFT tapping, so you find there a lot of videos, and so you can heal there from a lot of things in your life, so you can move forward. Okay, so let's start tapping. I just do it random right now, okay? So that's why I always do it. I don't make beforehand. I did it before, but that I just do it random. So you can start tapping on the side of the hand, and let's start doing it. So we're getting rid of the fear of randomness. And some people might need to use this video more often or watch it more often to get really rid of the anxiety around the topic. So let's start tapping, and let's say, even though I'm afraid of randomness, I choose to love and accept myself. Repeat after me. Even though I'm afraid of randomness, I choose to love, honor, and accept myself. Even though I'm really afraid of randomness, I don't know what's going to happen next, and I really need to know it. I'm very afraid of randomness. I choose to love, honor, and accept myself. I swear, I just need the light from the computer a little bit. So then we start tapping on between the eyebrows. So I use my right hand. You can also use your left hand. Doesn't matter. Okay, you just start tapping on the eyebrow. It's connected with meridians in your body. Okay, so even though I feel this fear of randomness, I choose to let it go now. This fear of randomness, all this fear of randomness, all this fear of randomness. I really need to know what's going to happen next. And then on the side of your body, here on the side, I really need to know what's happening next. And if I don't know what's happening next, you can just repeat after me or watch the video later on. If I don't know what's happening next, I get very afraid. I need to plan. I need to know what's happening next. I always plan everything. I have a journal. Maybe I have 3 agendas. All kinds of things to make sure nothing else is happening than what I have on my mind. It needs to happen my way. It needs to happen my way. It always happens my way. It has to happen my way. I'm very afraid that it's not happening my way. Even if I miss out on the best things in life, it always needs to happen my way. I know how I want it, and that's the way it goes. Is that really so? So maybe you remember a time that it didn't happen my way, and it made me feel very unlucky. Maybe everything went wrong, everything became a mess, I really didn't like it. It really has to happen my way. Maybe every day of my life feels like preparing a marriage, a wedding, sorry. It has to happen my way. And with EFT tapping, we're just releasing it. So you can say whatever you want, you're just releasing it. It's going on, it's happening on your subconscious level. Just watch the channel of Gary Greg. It has to happen my way. But when I think back of those times, maybe that was just not working for me, right? It doesn't always happen my way. Maybe I had the best times even when it didn't went my way. Maybe I'm very open, more open for randomness, to randomness, than I think right now. Because fear is holding me back. I'm having journals, agendas, vision boards, but for some reason it never goes my way. Letting go of this need to plan everything. Letting go of this need to control my life. Letting go of this need to in unhealthy ways, trying to control my own life and others maybe even. These control issues. These control issues. I'm letting go of these control issues. I'm letting go that it needs to be always my way. It has to go my way. All this fear that it doesn't go my way. Maybe there's a lot of expectations of me. Maybe I work in a position that people think, yeah, that's what you have to do. So you really need to stick to the planning. But yeah, it didn't work always. Maybe think back to Corona. It didn't really work. But maybe there were some positive things that I experienced. That was all about the randomness. How did you find that person that you really love? Or how did you find maybe the most important things in your life? Or your family? Or the kids that are born in your life? Maybe you're a parent. It is randomness, right? You don't know who's going to be your child if you get babies. All this fear of randomness. All this fear of life. All this fear that life is just throwing me lemons. That's how you say it in English. All this fear that life is throwing me lemons. All this fear of bad luck. All this fear of bad luck. I'm letting go of it now. I choose to remember the times that I didn't have any control over my life. But for some reason it always went, in the right direction. Letting go of these control issues. Embracing randomness. Trying to, I'm open, I say trying. Being open to randomness in life. Being open to miracles. Miracles are most of the time random. If it was planned, it's not a miracle anymore. Possible, but all this fear of randomness, just letting it go. Maybe I stopped myself in life because of this fear of randomness. I'm letting go of all this fear around randomness, letting it go, knowing that it will be all fine, trusting that randomness will bring me good things. All this fear that is bringing me in danger, all this fear related to randomness, I choose to release it from my body, mind, spirit, all the way back to my past, and on all levels of my being. All this fear of randomness, all this fear of me doing it wrong, all this fear of making mistakes, letting go of this fear of randomness. Thank you all for joining. All this fear for randomness. I like to control it. I need to know what's going to happen next. All this fear of randomness. Letting go of this fear of randomness. I choose to trust myself. When I trust myself, when I think back of situations, I trust myself. It actually always happened in the right way. It always went in the right direction if I think about it. All this fear of randomness. All this fear that I don't know what's happening tomorrow. All this fear that tomorrow will be a bad day. All this fear that today or tonight will be a bad day if you're in another country. All this fear that everything will be bad after this moment. Letting go of these fears. All these fears that right now is the best moment. And after this moment everything will go down. All this fear that after this moment everything will be a mess. All this fear that everything after this moment is going wrong. Just letting it go on all levels of my being. Being open to miracles. By letting go of this fear of randomness. All this fear of randomness. All this fear of what life has to bring me. How do you say that? All this fear of what life is going to bring me. I'm choosing to embrace randomness. And I choose to trust myself, trusting the universe. And thinking of those people who maybe even survived the weirdest stuff. I couldn't do that too. Letting go of this fear of randomness. Letting go of this fear of the unknown. Letting go of this fear that everything will be bad after this moment. Letting go of this fear of randomness. Choosing to be myself. And embracing life with all this randomness. Letting go of this fear of randomness in life. Letting go of this fear that I cannot control life. All this fear that I cannot control things in my life. I cannot control people. I cannot control circumstances. All this fear of not able to be controlling my life. Letting go of all this fear, all this anxiety around randomness in life. Letting go of this fear. I'm embracing randomness. I don't know what the future brings. I really don't know. And it makes me sometimes fearful. But I'm ready now to let go of this fearfulness and this anxiety around randomness that life is bringing me. I'm letting go of this fear and letting go of this need to control every little detail in my life. Letting go of all these expectations that I have from other people, letting go of the fear of randomness. Letting go of the fear how other people will respond towards me. Sometimes that's very random to me. Maybe. All this fear of randomness. All this fear of randomness. Letting it go from every fiber of my being. Letting go of this fear of randomness. Letting go of these control issues. I need to control everything. I need to know what's going on tomorrow. I need to know how much money is on my bank account. Letting go of this fear of randomness. I need to survive with a lot of money. I always need lots of money. And maybe I'm so fearful that I don't have any money. Letting go of this fear of randomness, because sometimes it's very random how you get your money. And sometimes very random, you get lots of money. So I'm letting go of this fear of randomness. Letting go of this need to control everything. Letting go of these trust issues that makes me fear randomness in life. That makes me fear all these things that are holding me back from living my life. And also for the person who's all the time just having a little bit like stalker behavior here in the chat. For you, maybe this one. I'm letting go for the need to get things that I cannot get. Just letting go of it completely. Maybe it's just not for me. But I'm so attached. So much in need. I need to have this outcome. If I don't get it, I'm just going to force it. By saying certain things. Maybe I have to let it go. Letting go of all this need. All this need. I need it, I need it, I need it, I need it. That never made you happy, is it? All this need. All this need for the things that I have in my mind. Well, maybe the universe has other plans for me in my mind. In mind. Letting go of this fear for randomness. Of randomness. Letting go of this fear of randomness. Letting go of this fear because I'm missing out on miracles. Letting go of this fear of randomness. I'm so afraid of randomness that I'm just going for the person that I see first. Oh, and that's what I need. But everything goes wrong every time I want that person, or everything you want to be with someone you have on your mind. It's just not possible. It seems so unreachable every time. And I really don't know how that is even possible. Why is it that I can never get what I want? Maybe I need to let go of the fear of randomness. Maybe there's another plan for me. Something much, much better. Maybe there's someone entering my life that really loves me for who I am. So instead of being someone that the person likes to have, I can be myself when I let go of this fear of randomness. Maybe I can have a partner that is just accepting me for who I am. Letting go of this fear of randomness, this need to control everything. I need a rich partner. I need a famous partner. I really need this job, or I really need this money. Completely letting go of this need, all this fear of randomness, all this need to control, all this need to force it, all this fear that is not going my way. Letting go of all this fear of randomness. I'm not afraid of randomness. If life brings me lemons, I know how to make lemonade of it. You know, that was the joke, right? Letting go of this fear of reminiscence. I want to say, letting go of this fear of randomness. Letting go of this fear of making mistakes. All this fear that people see I'm making mistakes. All this fear that this video will be forever online. All this fear that people think things about me. Who fucking cares, man? All this fear of randomness. You never know what it will bring you. I'm letting go of it now. Being open to miracles. There's something much, much better coming and entering my life. And if not, that's the way it is. All this fear to die. All this need to live. Maybe that makes me extra vulnerable to get accidents like all the time. Because I'm so afraid that something is a mistake or is wrong. This fear of doing things so wrong. I'm doing it wrong. Maybe I tell even other people they are doing it wrong. Like all the time. Wanting to control everyone and everything. That person has to like me. That person has to talk to me. That's my staff. They have to come from this country because they're cheaper. Letting go of this fear for randomness. All this need to control everything. I choose to trust myself. I choose to trust others. Knowing that they have skills that I might not have. Choosing to trust others. Choosing to trust their abilities that I maybe don't have. Letting go of this idea that I really need an agenda, a journal and everything. Because I need to go my way. Of course, you don't need to plan a little bit, but this need for control. All this fear of randomness. Choosing to let it go at all levels of my being. Letting go of this fear of randomness. I really need to put this video first on YouTube. And then after that video. Oh, there's a mistake in my video. I really need to solve it right now. Oh my god, they see that I have a yellow tooth. Oh, that's wrong. This fear of randomness. This fear of randomness. All this fear that people won't like me if I'm random. All this fear that I have to confirm people, circumstances, on what they expect me to do. All this need to confirm expectations of people. All this fear of randomness. All this need to control. I need to be friendly to those first people. I have to. All this fear of randomness. All this fear that I'm doing it wrong if I'm myself. All this fear of life. I may be very random. I'm popping up on your screen. You didn't even want to see me. Why is she popping up on my screen, man? All this fear of randomness. All this fear of randomness. Very random. Maybe you'd have to plan everything, every little detail. But it's maybe not even the case that you should do it, in your situation. Maybe I have a God complex. Everything needs to be perfect. Cannot be random. Has to be in this order. That person has to do that. I'm going to do that. At that time, exactly, because I'm afraid of randomness. Letting go of this fear of randomness. Choosing to know that also miracles can happen to me. Choosing to know miracles can happen to me. Letting go of this fear of randomness. Thank you. Letting go of this fear of randomness. Love you too. All this fear of randomness. Letting go of all this fear. Letting go of this need to attach. I need to attach. But maybe this is very random. Okay, just enter this. Whatever. I don't know who you guys are, but just letting go of this fear of randomness. It's 32 minutes. Can do maybe once a marathon. All this fear of randomness. All this fear of randomness. I really don't know anymore what to say. All this fear of randomness. I'm afraid that things will happen in the wrong order. That's I think another fear of randomness. All this fear that things will happen in an order that I really don't want. Oh my God, things are going wrong. It's not going my way. All this fear of randomness. All this fear that when I go step outside, I don't know what to expect. All this fear that when I make contact to someone, I don't know what I expect. All this fear of randomness. All this fear of randomness. Let it go. I think that was it. I think I cannot, if you can think about other things, let me know in the chat. What has more to do with randomness? I think life in general, it's really random. Yeah, that's the beauty of it, right? It's the beauty of it that it is very random. I mean, I would get very bored if life wouldn't be random. If you already knew what's going to happen. Just like with internet, like you know a little bit what's going to happen, right? Everything is like calculated. They even have a police system that they think that when people were like 3 times in a row or something, at places where something happened, something bad, that it must be a criminal. Sickness. Letting go of this fear for randomness. Life is random. Cannot plan it. Cannot plan it. Just accepting life is random. Tapping into acceptance. Life is just random. And yes, some things I can control. There's also a lot of things I cannot control. And maybe also miracles are part of that. Choosing to trust myself. Choosing to trust my intuition. I know when there is danger. I know when something is going wrong. Because my body responds to it. And I trust my body. And even I had a lot of sickness and maybe I don't trust my body anymore. Something will tell me, or maybe someone, that is a dangerous situation. And it's time to plan. In some situations I really need to plan. But there's also a lot of situations that I choose to let go, of that randomness. Because it's keeping me stuck sometimes. if you're all the time afraid of randomness, you're planning literally everything, also the things that you shouldn't plan, that you do not have control over. Firing the wrong people, doing the things that maybe even not in your control. Letting go of this fear of randomness. Choosing to live life. Choosing to live life and let go of this fear of randomness. Choosing to let go of this fear of randomness. I'm good the way I am. I'm human. And so I'm random sometimes. Maybe I feel random emotions, or maybe it's to me very random. Maybe other people feel random emotions and I cannot control them. All this fear of randomness, letting it go. I choose to trust myself and I'm letting go of this fear of randomness. Choose to trust the universe or God if you believe in a God. I choose to trust that everything will be alright. And I use my intuition. When I'm an adult, I choose to trust my experience and my body, that when there's danger, I know there's danger around. And I'm completely letting go of the fear of randomness. All this fear that something bad will happen. All this fear that something bad will happen. Letting it go at all levels of my being. In body, mind, and spirit. Okay, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. You healing from randomness. Maybe I could make a better video, but I think that this video about randomness could best be made random. So, thanks so much. I hope a lot of miracles are coming your way because you're letting go of randomness. If you have some phrases that you really like to share about letting go of the fear of randomness, then leave them in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video, and especially thank you so much for healing. Like on all the topics you can heal from with EFT tapping. It's really helpful. I think it's the most safe way to heal. And don't forget also that afterwards you need to drink something to, release all the toxic stuff from your body. Okay, say bye and see you next time.